I love traveling, so that's one, and I love volunteering, and so that kind of matches the whole thing.
I love like service and the opportunity to kind of get outside my comfort zone, just to like knock me back into reality, just so I can, you know, go out there and use the like gifts and all the things that I have here that I usually take for granted and bless someone else with those kinds of things.
It's just one of those experiences that you'll never get to have again. Being with fellow Lehigh students on a trip together, experiencing all these things together, meeting new people. My Antigua family has become one of the most fundamental families I have right now. This is the only time you'll be able to do this kind of thing cost effectively. For just about $2,000 to do all this stuff, I don't think you can beat it.
We collaborated with a Canadian school. They have student teachers there, and so they were the ones that sort of came up with the lesson plan, and then we kind of tagged along being teaching assistants, and we taught them definitely about bullying and why you shouldn't do it, but through a more fun way instead of just saying, oh, you shouldn't bully people.
My favorite volunteer activity is probably painting the recycling plant and also working in it, because you got to see how a recycling plant actually works, and it's interesting to note how all that stuff that you throw in recycling bins, where they go, and how the people take care of those things, and how even unscrewing the cap can make somebody's life so much easier. It was very, it was kind of dirty, it was disgusting to work in there, but that's kind of the thing that needs to be done so that our plant will be here in the future, you know what I mean?
We painted the outside of the recycling center, and we painted it like red and blue because everything in Antigua is like super bright. It was hard to get out of our clothes, but it was a good time.
We see how little actions can actually impact someone's life. For example, the kids that are in the detention school, we just went there and played basketball and soccer with them. That's all they needed. All they wanted was to have someone to care for them.
Antigua is both a service trip and a cultural experience for us. We got to learn a lot about the culture of Antigua, its history, where it is now, where it's going. We worked a lot with the ambassador.
I really loved when we went to Devil's Bridge, just because the rush of being in somewhere that could be so scary and so beautiful at the same time was really awesome.
Definitely the steel drum. I'm very big in music, so to me that was phenomenal. Just being able to experience that.
Like at the end of the day, after we had done all this work, just going to the beach and like toes in the sand, like getting in the water, it was awesome. It's so much cooler than the pictures, I promise.
It made me wonder, what am I studying for? And how am I gonna use it to impact the world? And that's why I would like to potentially get, not necessarily a degree in public health, but at least some knowledge in public health so that I can use what I know and actually apply it instead of just being behind the scene, because I love working with people.
When you go on vacations, you go to these countries like Jamaica, Antigua, anywhere in the Caribbean, maybe even Africa, you only see a very small sliver of what the country actually is, and that's only the touristy part. When you actually get into the country, you see what it's like, and you see how people actually live, and it kind of reminds you that you've got it pretty easy. And when you bring that perspective in, and you see that people are actually struggling on a daily basis, it makes you really think about what you're doing here.
1, 2, 3. Fantastic!